Guys, happy new year and welcome to the next vlog. Now in this particular vlog I want to discuss exactly what you should be doing to achieve your fat loss or muscle building goals within 2018. I really want to discuss the big broad principles that you should be focusing on to achieve your fat loss or muscle building goals. However, unfortunately most people get caught up in just focusing on the minor details, the things that they think will get them great results, but actually are just that, the minor details. They don't really have a significant impact on your progress. So for example, supplementation, nutrient timing, how close your post-workout meal is in relation to your training session. These are all minor details that have little or no impact on your fat loss or muscle building goals. So in this video I'll be discussing exactly what to do for fat loss and muscle building. So let's firstly start with fat loss. So the big broad overarching principle that must be in place for you to achieve your fat loss goals is creating the energy deficit. Now I know you've already heard this before, but I'm telling you right now, people are not following this. They're not actually taking action and focusing on creating an energy deficit. They've been sold this idea that it's all about eating clean or healthy foods as opposed to actually consciously trying to create that energy deficit. So ultimately, even if you're consuming single ingredient whole food, what would be considered clean food, if you're not creating that calorie deficit, you will not lose body fat, period. But people still are not doing this. They're just being sold this idea, just eat clean, all you need to do is eat cleaner and you'll get lean. That's BS. You need to have a calorie deficit, you need to be burning more calories than you're consuming, otherwise you will not lose 1 pound of body fat. So that's the first key principle. So how do you go about achieving that? So firstly, you need to have some well set up nutrition targets, protein, carbohydrate, fat and calorie targets. More specifically, the protein target and the amount of calories you're consuming on a day-to-day basis. Those two key factors alone are the most important factors in the fat loss phase. Protein is there to preserve lean muscle mass in the fat loss phase. So when you're losing the weight, you're mainly losing body fat as opposed to muscle. And then the calories should be tailored to you to create that energy deficit needed for fat loss. So I'd suggest going to my website, James Layton, Layton, fitness.co.uk. You'll see a tab at the top of the page called free ebook, and you can download my free ebook which teaches you exactly how to set these daily nutrition targets to create that energy deficit needed for fat loss. So that's the first important point to know is, firstly, obviously, the creating the calorie deficit. Secondly, having some well set up nutrition targets to create that energy deficit. The third key principle is having weight training as the foundation of your routine. This is absolutely critical for both males and also females. Females, you need to come away from the CV area and actually enter the free weights area. That's where you're going to get your best results. And the reason why is we need to have weight training as a foundation of our routine to preserve lean muscle mass within the fat loss phase. Similar to what I said about protein, if you're just focusing on a calorie deficit without having weight training as a foundation of your routine, you'll lose weight, but you also lose a lot of muscle mass as well. Now as a female, you may be saying, well, I don't want to be big and bulky and have big muscles, so why is it relevant to you? It is relevant to you because you don't want to be stick thin. You still want to have curves, you still want to have well developed glutes, defined shoulders, arms, etc. And that all comes from having weight training as the foundation of your routine. So that's the next principle. So we've got the calorie deficit, well set up nutrition targets, weight training as a foundation of your routine. The next factor is cardio. Now, once we have weight training as a foundation of our routine and then also the nutrition targets set up to create the calorie deficit, cardio will also be used as a tool to increase energy expenditure. Now, if you just have a few pounds to lose, you can get away with just having weight training as a foundation of your routine and then reducing calories to create the energy deficit. But for most individuals, if you've got a decent amount of body fat to lose, at least half a stone, you're going to need some cardio to help increase energy expenditure to help create that energy deficit. So remember, weight training is there to preserve lean muscle mass, and then cardio and then also calories being decreased are our two tools to create the energy deficit. So hopefully that makes sense. So in regards to the cardio component, this is going to vary from individual to individual. For the most part, females will require more cardio than males to create the energy deficit. Unfortunately, females just require more cardio, less calories to burn body fat. But a good place to start is approximately 3 cardio sessions per week. So let's say, for example, you're performing weight training 3 to 4 times per week. You could just have 3 high-intensity interval training sessions just for 10-15 minutes at the end of your weight training sessions. This could be just sprinting on the treadmill, could be on the rowing machine, 30 seconds intense work, rest 30 seconds, then repeat for 10-15 minutes. It's a great tool to burn a lot of calories within a short space of time. So now we've got those key principles in place. We're focused on the big overarching principles, the calorie deficit. Underneath that, we obviously have our well set up nutrition targets. You've used my free ebook to calculate those. We've then got weight training, we've then got our cardio, and then here's the next real game changer for you. This is where I believe 99% of people go wrong when they're trying to achieve their fat loss goals, is actually understanding and appreciating that, one, fat loss plateaus are normal, and secondly, that's actually your cue to make a change to either drop calories or increase expenditure for more cardio to continue creating the energy deficit. It's so important to realize that the nutrition targets and cardio you're doing at the start of the fat loss phase will be different to what it is at the end of the fat loss phase. This is just because your metabolic rate slows within a fat loss phase, which is normal, but that therefore means that you need to make changes to drop calories or increase expenditure for more cardio to continue creating the energy deficit. That's why people go on, because they start seeing some progress at the beginning of a diet or exercise program. They think, oh, this is great. Then they plateau and they don't know what to do. They pull their hair out, they give up, they binge, they go on the next diet. They don't understand that these plateaus are normal, and all you need to do is, I'll give you a couple of examples. One example would be to drop calories by approximately 10-15%, keep protein constant, make that change to either drop carbs or fats or both, and then you could also add an additional HIIT session or another continuous cardio session, or a less low intensity steady state cardio session, some tool to increase energy expenditure for the week. So hopefully that makes sense. Plateaus are normal, and I've mentioned this before. You want to look at this like a flow chart. You want to be focusing on trying to achieve 0.5 to 1% weight loss per week, and if you don't achieve that, that means you've reached a plateau. And then the flow chart is, have you reached the 0.5 to 1% weight loss target? If yes, do nothing, keep doing the same thing. If no, drop calories or add in an additional cardio session. So hopefully that's been useful. Right, let's quickly transition onto muscle building, because I spent a lot of time on fat loss. So with regards to muscle building, we're focusing on the opposite goal. Calorie deficit for fat loss, calorie surplus for muscle building. We need to be consuming more calories than we're burning to build muscle. There's a great quote from Lyle McDonald that says, you cannot build muscle out of wishful thinking and thin air alone. So true. We need that calorie surplus to be able to build new muscle. And how do you achieve that? Again, well set up nutrition targets. Use my free ebook and I teach you how to set it for either fat loss or muscle building. Set your daily nutrition targets. Then we obviously need to have weight training as a foundation of our routine. Now, with regards to weight training, a couple of key points. Firstly, we need to be training body parts twice per week, or this is more optimal. You can still make progress training body parts once per week, but by training body parts twice a week allows us to add more volume within the week. So volume is the amount of work, so sets and exercises within the week, because volume is the biggest determining factor for influencing muscle growth, and as such, train body parts twice a week, easier to get in more volume. Secondly, by training body parts twice per week, we can stimulate muscle protein synthesis more frequently. It's better for strength gains as well. So if you're not doing that now and your natural training, that'll make a huge difference to your muscle building efforts within a muscle building phase. So that's the next step. And then once again, the goal of the muscle building phase is to increase volume over time, with the caveat the load is heavy enough. So that sounds quite complex, but in short, if you're getting stronger within the set you're currently doing, volume will be going up, because volume is sets times reps times load. So therefore, if repetitions and sets stay the same, but load goes up, that therefore means that volume will be going up by default. So that's really the main focus. Have a well set up training program, body parts trained twice per week, mainly focusing on the big compound exercises, things like squats, deadlifts, bench press, overhead press, variations of these, and then focus on gradually getting stronger over time. Sets and reps stay the same, volume will be going up. And that's a very simplistic way to look at it. Obviously, there's more advanced techniques to increase volume, but if you're an intermediate or beginner, that'll be a good place to start. to focus on increasing volume over time within the muscle building phase. Next step is just to realize that plateaus are normal, like within the fat loss phase. So within the muscle building phase, you want to be focusing on a weight gain, monthly weight gain target suitable to your training age. So if you have less than 6 months weight training experience, you can obviously build muscle at a fast rate because you're a newbie to training. I'd focus on a 1 to 3 pound per month gain. If you're an intermediate, someone with 6 months to 3 years weight training experience approximately, focus on a 1 to 2 pound per month gain. And if you're beyond 3 years weight training experience, you're mainly focusing on improving gym performance, eating enough to recover from your sessions, but you're not actively looking at a weight gain target. At that stage, you're very close to your genetic potential, and therefore a monthly weight gain target is just going to result in unnecessary fat gain. So even though the scale weight will increase slightly, you don't want to have an actual target, but focusing on the weight training, improving gym performance over time, increasing volume over time, eating enough to make those volume gains, and then there will be some structural improvements over time. But again, you're not actively looking a pound monthly weight gain target, otherwise there'd just be a lot of unnecessary fat gain. So hopefully that's been useful. I think I've rambled on for too long, but if you have fat loss and muscle building goals within 2018, you need to be focusing on those key principles that I've discussed within this video to achieve those fat loss and muscle building goals. Once again, if you're still yet to download my free ebook on my website, if you go to James Layton, Layton fitness.co.uk, you'll see a tab at the top of the page called free ebook, and you can download that immediately, and that will teach you how to not only set those nutrition targets for fat loss or muscle building, but also how to make the changes to your nutrition targets when you reach a fat loss plateau or a muscle building plateau. So thank you very much for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a video. If you're watching this on Facebook, like the video and share this with any friends you may think will find this information useful. Thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon.